everyone. Our team will cover the advantages of economic globalization. And I will talk about why economic globalization is an irreversible trend. So first, I would like to tell you what economic globalization refers to. It is the increasing interdependence of world economics as a result of the growing scale of cross-border trade of commodities and services, flow of international capital, and a wide and rapid spread of technologies. It reflects the continuing expansion and the mutual integration of market frontiers, and is an irreversible trend for the economic development in the whole world. The fast globalization of the world's economics in recent years is largely based on the rapid development of science and technologies. The advancement of science and technologies has greatly reduced the cost of transportation and communication, making economic globalization possible. If technological advancement and IT development were assumed as the technological driving force for economic globalization, then the market-oriented reform carried out throughout the world should be regarded as the institutional driving force for this trend. Under the framework of GATT and WTO, many countries have gradually cut down their trade fee and non-trade fee barriers. More and more countries open up their current accounts and capital accounts. All of these have greatly stimulated the development of trade and investment. Based on these facts, economic globalization is irreversible. Next, Guil will deal with the general benefits of economic globalization, and Shasha will tell you globalization's positive impacts on China, and Rio will tell you globalization can be a big tool to solve problems of economic globalization. And last, Cholan will conclude our main points about economic globalization.
Thank you. I would like to emphasize a few economic benefits of globalization. First, globalization is an effective tool for eliminating poverty and for permitting the poor people to get hold of a steady grip of the global economy. According to the World Bank report, within the 2 decades from 1980s to 2001, those people living on $1 or less per day reduced from 1.5 billion to 1.1 billion. Given the rise in the total population of the world, it is an obvious conclusion that in the developing countries, the percentage of those people got reduced from 40% to 20%. Second, benefits of globalization in the developing nations can also be observed in the improvement of the social, economic status of women there. This is because in the comparative world of today, the role of a woman has become more significant and more valuable. Many developing nations encourage education for women, and this thereby improves the economic prospect of their respective states dramatically. Third, among other globalization benefits, mention should be made of advancement in medicine, public health, and increase in food supplies. All these have diminished the infant mortality rate and increased in the expectancy of life. Again, benefits of globalization are obvious with the increase in the income level of the country. This in turn declines the use of child labor. There is still inequality within and between nations. Benefits of globalization are salient in our daily lives. Next, Shasha will introduce the successful case of Chinese economic globalization.
Thank you. Obviously, in the past decades, China has achieved tremendous economic development attributed to globalization. Let's look at some numbers. Trade surplus. China has the largest trade surplus in the world, $262 billion in 2007. It's a 48% increase of 2006. And as estimated, its surplus will up to $400 billion in 2008. Foreign investment. From 1993 till now, China is the first largest country among the developing countries and the second largest in the world to use foreign investment. From 1970s to 1990s, foreign investment increased from $1.2 billion to $442 billion. Besides this, without globalization, in the past 20-odd years, China would be able to maintain an annual growth rate of 9.3% on average. China is now the 6th largest economy and the 5th largest trading nation in the world. And without globalization, more than 200 million people, Chinese people, were still in poverty. Without globalization, the average life expectancy of Chinese people won't reach 72 years, close to that of a medium-level developed country. Without globalization, I won't be able to have the opportunity and afford my tuition to come to United States and fulfill my dream of becoming an international businesswoman. Next, we will talk about the globalization can help solve the poverty.
Okay, so shall we move on from China to the worldwide? Okay, so let's take a look at Mexico. After Canada and United States and Mexico created NAFTA, Mexico economic situation dramatically changed in a good way. How about Asia? Asia, there's China, ASEAN, and India. According to the Urban Institute, which researched social policy, they said the Asian economic miracle of the 1980s and 1990s. The poverty fell down from 48% in 1980 to 60% in 1991. How about the world's population in severe poverty? It declined between 1970 and 1998 from 17.2% to 6.7%. And when it comes to the generous poverty, it declines to 41% to 18.6%. It is obvious that globalization, from the especially economical point of view, every country can get profit. Well, in an economical word, it is said, it is called comparative advantage. Every country can get a profit. And then why? Why there some countries are like suffering from global system? For example, North Korea, Latin America, and some countries in Africa. Well, there's 2 points. Global governance, a global system, is based on government. So when it comes to a weak government or unstable government, the situation makes it difficult. And second point, some countries are afraid of opening the market. For example, North Korea. Look at North Korea. When it comes to global, it brings more than wealthy, human rights, and different cultural difference. Okay, so let's move on to the conclusion.
As I said, globalization has had significant impacts on all economy of the world. Impacts on globalization on national economy are increasing foreign investment, technological innovations. Investment play a key role in technological transfer, industrial restructuring, and the formation of global enterprise. Globalization has both positive and negative impact. Whether one sees globalization as a negative or positive development, it is clear globalization changed the world and pose both opportunity and challenges. International corporations can diminish the negative effect of globalization